My name is Paul Gallagher. I'm standing in the Moan ward of Strabane district. I'm married, I've got 2 children, and I'm currently a member of the IRSP and have been this past 15 years. I'm a community activist, have been this past 20 years, involved in numerous groups within the Strabane area. I'm a director of Springle Park Community Development Association. I'm a treasurer for Fowle Street Community Development Association. Through this work, I'm also chair of Neighbourhood Renewal, which administrates £500,000 on an annual basis in the Strabane district. I'm also currently chair of Strabane Trades Council. As I said, I've been involved in community development this past 20 years, and during that time I have noticed the lack of representation within the estates of Strabane. Strabane suffers from one of the highest areas of deprivation. In East Ward in particular, it ranks as 5 highest out of 888 super output areas. And what I see is very much a lack of resources getting targeted into those areas, particularly resources that would be allocated to Strabane District Council. And I feel that there's a need to get in there, get represented in the chamber, so that resources can be best allocated to those areas. I also think that there's very much need for a socialist left-wing politics in the chamber that gives an opposition voice within the chamber that can be directed at parties who are administrating cuts within this current administration. Over the past number of years, it's been well aware that these cuts, the potential for these cuts have been coming. We've been lobbying directly through the Communities Against Cuts. We've also been lobbying through the Trades Council, attending rallies, making people aware that these cuts are coming. And there's also an assumption out there that these cuts are being administered by the Tories, which I would like to dispel, because I think these cuts are being directly made from Stormont and the Stormont executive. These councillors that are out on the doors, knocking on the doors, are pretending that these cuts are coming from England, when in fact they're not. They're being administered by the heads of their parties. I want to challenge that. I want to get out on the streets and let people know that there needs to be an opposition to these cuts, and we need to do it now. Housing and housing benefit is a major issue in Strabane. We've seen the recent introduction to the new housing benefit rule. This is due to the cuts, where they will be cutting housing benefit as per numbers in each household. This basically means that if you're a single person in a house, you will not qualify for full rent. This is going to have a major disaster on the social housing list in Strabane, where people who cannot afford rent will leave private rental, look for social housing, and the housing stress list will greatly increase. People will be becoming homeless, and there's no new builds through the housing executive, which will result in major homelessness within the Strabane district. What difference can I make if I'm elected to Strabane District Council? I think I'll make a brave difference within that chamber. What I'll bring is accountability. I will challenge other parties, other councillors, and what they're not doing. I will bring information to the general public that is currently being kept behind closed doors. We recently had issues around Riversdale swimming pool, where people get shifted and moved, and there was a lot of secrecy around that needs to be exposed. I will also bring to the chamber opposition from a socialist left-wing perspective that's greatly required within that chamber.
On the 5th of May, you have a historic opportunity to vote for Republican Socialists. Vote IRSP number 1.
Tell me that you'll open your eyes. Tell me